He had asked if I wanted to go cross country. I said, let's go. So we went. We got in a truck that I had and went across country with my daughter. He was supposed to drop me off in Arizona. He did not. And for a month, we did this. We stopped at a rest area off of a highway. And I remember looking at these pictures of all these people that were on America's Most Wanted. And I kind of joked about it, like, what if that was us? Not really knowing what I was saying, not knowing that we truly were being looked for. I grew up in a household that was drenched with addiction, drenched with a lot of secrets. We didn't talk about those secrets because if you didn't talk about them, they didn't exist. And so I had that mindset from a very young age. If everything looked good on the outside, nobody asked questions what truly was going on in the household. My mom would be gone for, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time. And each individual that she was ever with sexually abused me. I don't think she directly exploited me, like on purpose. But once she found out that those things were happening, she didn't stop them. She didn't protect me because she was trying to fill voids of her own. I've forgiven my mom for those things because I myself tried to fill voids. I started drinking, and within a week I was on methamphetamines. For me, it was a miracle drug, truthfully, because it allowed me to be in a spot where I didn't have to think, but I also didn't have to sleep. And if I didn't sleep, I didn't have nightmares. But the whole point was I never dealt with the trauma. I didn't know how to. I didn't even know that kind of stuff existed. I would get involved with drug dealers. These drug dealers, they would become my boyfriends. I don't know necessarily if they would think that I was their girlfriend at the time, but they would serve me and then say, hey, so-and-so really wants to be with you tonight. Can you go over here? I'll give you another line if you go and spend time with this individual. And then one thing would turn into another, and I'd end up having sexual acts with them. In 2009, I went across country, me and my daughter, and unbeknownst to me, a sex offender that I had gotten into a relationship with. I can remember my daughter at times, she was like, I just want to go home. And I'm like, well, you are home because you're with me. There came a point where I literally was like, Lord, I don't even know if you exist, but I can't live like this anymore. The next morning, literally, after I prayed that prayer, we were arrested. And I always say that the U.S. Marshals rescued me instead of arresting me. When I went to jail, I had this overwhelming peace in a 4x9 cell. I was by myself. I spent like 2.5 years in prison, and all along the way, the Lord continued to put me in solitary confinement. I was by myself the whole time. But I needed that. I needed that extra time. The Lord knew that. If I was just released back into society, that I would probably go right back to using, going right back to survival mode, and He couldn't do what He needed to and work on my life. Like, it was just me and him. Me, him, and a Bible. My great aunt had a Bible pretty much smuggled into the jail while I was waiting to be sentenced to prison. And it was a women's study Bible that I still have to this day. And so I just read. And I just continued to read, and it was like the words on the pages came to life for me. I started seeing myself differently. My identity started changing. I was able to start healing. When I first got out of prison, I was highly involved in a 12-step program. I would mentor women, sponsor women. What happens when you're in 12-step meeting is you're also surrounded by men. And when you come out of those kinds of lifestyles, you don't identify as being a victim. You don't identify as even being trafficked. And so I started a support group for women. Every Thursday we would meet, and I will tell you that that wasn't even the focus. When I started the ministry that the Lord gave me, the main focus was addiction, helping them get clean, and then, finding a relationship with the Lord like I had. Proverbs 31:10 says that you are far more worthy than rubies. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, oh my gosh, that's it, rubies. Whatever you're birthing in me is supposed to be called rubies. It was probably 5 years in to having rubies. These women kept coming in, and maybe 6 or 7 months after being at Rubies, they would share some of their stories, and they would be exactly like mine. And I instantly would think, you were trafficked. How could you not see that you were trafficked? But really, the Lord was revealing to me, like, hello, you were too. When I finally came to grips with that and I started sharing, it was like I could truly be free. I believe that the Lord had to deliver me from addiction so that I could heal from the other trauma. The addiction was just a symptom of the trauma. I think of Jeremiah 33:6, where it says that he will restore mind, body, and soul. They get restoration with their families, restoration of their dreams, restoration with their children, and just life in general, doing things that they never thought that they could do. It's just amazing what the Lord will do if you just allow him to.
And the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. And the